Welcome back to the deep dive. Ever feel like you need a law degree just to understand, like, the news?
Totally.
Today, we are cracking the code on common legal terms
Okay.
that you hear everywhere,
Yeah.
but might not, like, fully grasp, you know?
Yeah, it's true.
Mhm.
Legal jargon can be so intimidating.
Oh, yeah.
But we're going to demystify those terms today,
Awesome.
drawing on some resources
Okay.
like legal aid guides, law firm explainers, and even official U.S. courts information.
Perfect. Because I've definitely misused bail
Oh, yeah.
outside of a courtroom context,
Oh, I'm sure.
like,
Yeah.
all the time.
Well, think of it this way.
Okay.
It's not ditching a boring party.
Right.
Wentz law explains that bail is money a defendant pays to get out of jail before their trial,
Okay.
promising they'll show up when required.
Gotcha. So it's like a financial insurance policy
Exactly.
for the court
Yeah,
to make sure the defendant doesn't skip town.
exactly. It's a way to balance.
The defendant's right to liberty
Okay.
with the need to ensure they face justice.
For sure. For
Mm.
sure. Speaking of balancing rights,
Okay.
innocent until proven guilty,
Right.
we hear this all the time.
Yeah. All the time.
But what is its real impact in a trial?
This principle is huge.
Yeah.
It means the government,
Right.
the prosecution,
Right.
has to prove the defendant's guilt.
Okay.
The defendant does not have to prove their innocence.
So the burden of proof
Yeah,
rests entirely on the prosecution's shoulders.
it does.
Wow.
And that burden of proof
Okay.
has to be met beyond a reasonable doubt,
Correct.
which is a very high standard in the law.
Yeah, that's a pretty heavy burden.
It is.
Now, this next one I've always mixed up.
Okay.
Jail versus prison.
It's-
Aren't they basically the same thing?
Nope, not at all.
Oh, really?
Jail is like a short-term holding cell
Gotcha.
for folks awaiting trial or serving time for less serious offenses,
Okay.
misdemeanors.
Prison, on the other hand,
Yeah.
is for those convicted of felonies,
Yeah.
the more serious crimes,
Right.
resulting in longer sentences.
So jail is like a timeout and prison is...
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
okay.
Different levels of offenses
Yeah, okay.
lead to different consequences.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's move on to a term that sounds straight out of an action movie.
Oh,
Warrant.
okay.
Does it live up to the drama?
Well, maybe not as explosive as Hollywood portrays,
Okay.
but it is serious.
Okay.
Wentz law explains that a warrant is a court order
Mhm.
giving law enforcement permission for a search or an arrest.
Gotcha.
But there's a catch.
Uh,
They need probable cause.
so it's not just a free pass
No,
for the police
none at all.
to just go do whatever they want.
Probable cause means
Okay.
solid evidence suggesting
Okay.
that a crime was committed
Yeah.
or evidence will be found in a specific place.
Gotcha.
It's all about protecting individual rights
Okay.
from unreasonable searches and seizures.
I like it checks and balances.
Yes.
Speaking of crucial moments,
Yeah.
what about the verdict?
Uh-huh.
That's got to be intense.
Definitely. The verdict is the jury's decision
Okay.
or the judge's, if it's a bench trial,
Right.
on the case's facts.
Yeah.
It's the answer to the central question of the trial,
Okay.
guilty or not guilty in a criminal case,
Right.
or who's liable in a civil one.
So the verdict is the culmination of all the evidence and arguments
Yes.
and legal maneuvering.
Uh-huh.
It's the moment of truth.
Precisely. The entire trial builds towards this crucial decision.
This next one sounds pretty straightforward.
Okay.
Speedy trial.
Yeah.
Does it really mean things move quickly in the legal world?
It should, ideally.
Okay.
The Sixth Amendment of the Constitution guarantees this, right?
Okay.
It's all about preventing indefinite detention.
Right.
Without resolution.
So government can't just keep someone in limbo forever.
Exactly. Justice delayed is justice denied,
Right.
as they say.
Yeah.
But defining speedy can get tricky,
Right.
depending on the case's complexity.
I'm sure.
There's a lot of legal debate around what constitutes a reasonable time frame.
Okay, so even speedy has some gray areas.
Yes, it does.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Now, onto a term that seems simple,
Okay.
but might have hidden depths.
Uh-huh.
Damages.
Yes.
What are those?
You're right. It's not just about replacing that broken vase.
Right.
Legally, damages are the financial compensation someone gets
Good.
for being wronged or injured.
Right.
Wentz law distinguishes them from costs,
Okay.
which are the expenses of the lawsuit itself.
Gotcha. So damages are about
Yeah,
making the injured party whole as much as money can.
precisely.
Okay.
It's about restoring what was lost, financially speaking, as a consequence of the harmful act.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now, for a term that sounds like it belongs in a game show.
Okay.
Jeopardy.
Yeah.
What's the legal version?
Less fun for sure,
Yeah.
but still about risk.
Right.
Legally, being in jeopardy
Okay.
means facing the potential consequences
Okay.
of a criminal charge.
Hmm.
Once charged, the stakes get very real.
Right. So it's about that point where
Yeah.
the possibility of punishment looms large.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And this connects to the concept of double jeopardy.
Okay.
The Fifth Amendment protects you
Okay.
from being tried twice for the same crime.
So jeopardy is all about safeguarding against
Yeah.
the abuse of power
Right.
by ensuring one trial
Mm-hmm.
per offense.
That's the core idea.
Okay, time for a confession.
Oh, okay.
I always imagine someone dramatically declaring,
All right.
I am an attorney at law.
Okay.
Is that how lawyers actually introduce themselves?
Uh-huh. Maybe in old movies.
Okay.
But really, attorney at law just means a lawyer
Okay.
who can practice law and represent clients in court.
Gotcha.
Wentz Law clarifies that in the U.S.
Okay.
It applies to any licensed lawyer.
So it's more of a formal title than
Of
a
course.
dramatic declaration.
It emphasizes their authorized role as an advocate
Okay.
in legal matters.
Gotcha. All right, let's tackle another common pairing that's easy to confuse.
Okay.
Plaintiff versus defendant.
Right.
Who's who in this legal showdown?
The Lone Star Legal Aid website breaks it down nicely.
Okay.
The plaintiff is the one initiating the lawsuit,
Okay.
claiming they were wronged.
Mm-hmm.
The defendant is the one being sued or accused,
Right.
the one on the receiving end of the complaint.
So the plaintiff is the one who feels like they got the short end of the stick,
That's a great way to put it.
and the defendant is the one who has to explain themselves.
The plaintiff is seeking a legal remedy
Okay.
for the harm they allege,
Right.
and the defendant is trying to counter those claims.
Okay, we've just scratched the surface of legal terminology,
I know, right?
but I already feel like I'm speaking a new language.
We've got plenty more to unpack.
Awesome.
But before we delve deeper,
Yeah.
why not take a moment to explore a universe of knowledge?
That's right.
Yeah?
If you're enjoying this deep dive into legal lingo,
Yeah.
just imagine the fascinating journeys awaiting you
Yeah.
on the All Sorts podcast.
Head over to YouTube and hit that subscribe button
Right.
in the All Sorts podcast channel.
Yes.
And while you're at it, follow us on X, Instagram, and Threads.
Keep up with us on all the socials.
We're sharing intriguing stories, insights, and deep dives
Yes.
into a vast array of topics
Well, that's amazing.
that will spark your curiosity and leave you wanting more.
So join us on this adventure of discovery.
Yes.
Expand your horizon,
Please.
and let's explore the wonders of knowledge together.
I love that.
But first, back to our legal lexicon.
Okay.
We've got more terms to demystify.
Yes, we do.
After a quick
After a quick little break.
break,
Be right back.
we'll be right back.
Back to more legal terms.
Let's dive back in. This next term sounds a bit complicated.
Okay.
Jurisdiction. Is it as simple as like which court you go to?
Well, location matters,
Oh,
but
yeah.
it's bigger than that.
Oh.
Jurisdiction is all about a court's authority.
Mm-hmm.
To hear a specific case,
Gotcha.
Lone Star Legal Aid
Okay.
outlines 3 types.
Okay.
Geographic, which is location-based,
Hmm.
subject matter,
Okay.
and personal.
So subject matter jurisdiction means different courts
Yes.
handle different kinds of cases, right?
Or,
Like traffic court wouldn't deal with like
Exactly.
a patent dispute or something.
Exactly. And personal jurisdiction
Yeah.
gets into whether the court has power
Okay.
over the specific people or groups involved in the case.
So if I'm in Texas, like a California court probably wouldn't have jurisdiction over me
Right.
unless I had some strong connection to the case there.
Precisely.
Okay.
Jurisdiction ensures that cases are heard in the right place,
Gotcha.
and by the right court, maintaining fairness and legal efficiency.
All right. On to a term that's often mentioned when discussing rights. Due process.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds important, but what does it really mean?
It's a cornerstone of our legal system,
Okay.
guaranteeing fairness and impartiality in legal proceedings.
Okay.
It's enshrined in the 5th and 14th Amendments,
Mhm.
meaning the government can't just take your life, liberty, or property
Right.
without a fair legal process.
So no cutting corners or kangaroo courts.
Right.
Everyone deserves
Exactly.
a fair shot at justice.
That's the essence of due process.
Yeah.
Lone Star Legal Aid emphasizes
Okay.
that it's about safeguarding individuals
Okay.
from arbitrary or
Nice.
unjust government actions.
It seems like due process is a fundamental check on the power of the state,
Absolutely.
ensuring that legal proceedings are conducted fairly.
It's about protecting individual rights
Okay.
and ensuring that the government acts within the bounds of the law.
Gotcha. Now, let's switch gears to a term that sounds,
What?
well, a bit dull.
Uh-huh.
Discovery.
Yes.
What's exciting about that?
It might not be glamorous. Yeah.
But discovery is a vital part of the legal process.
Right.
It's the pretrial phase,
Okay.
where both sides gather information from each other
Okay.
to prepare their arguments and avoid surprises during the trial.
So it's like legal homework,
Exactly.
making sure everyone's prepared
Yes.
and on the same page.
Lone Star Legal Aid mentions methods
Okay.
like interrogatories, which are written questions, depositions, which are oral testimonies,
Gotcha.
and requests for documents.
It's all about transparency, making sure both sides have access to the same information.
That's the goal.
Okay.
A level playing field is essential for justice to prevail.
Speaking of ensuring fairness,
Yeah.
this next term is about how the law builds on itself.
Okay.
Precedent.
Right.
How does that work exactly?
Precedent means courts should generally follow the rulings of previous courts in similar cases.
Okay.
Lone Star Legal Aid defines it
Okay.
as a past legal decision
Okay.
that sets a standard.
For future cases, ensuring consistency and predictability.
So it's like a legal guidebook,
Precisely.
helping judges navigate similar situations.
Yes.
And make rulings based on established principles.
It promotes stability and fairness in the legal system.
Okay.
If a higher court has already addressed a legal issue,
Right.
lower courts usually follow that ruling.
That makes sense.
I see.
Without precedent, the legal system could feel chaotic,
Exactly.
with each judge interpreting the law differently.
Precedent brings order
Okay.
and helps ensure that similar cases are decided similarly,
Gotcha.
promoting justice and equal application of the law.
Okay, this next term is something we all understand.
Okay.
Deadlines.
Yes.
In the legal world, it's the statute of limitations.
We all have deadlines.
Yeah, we do.
And in law, the
Yeah.
statute of limitations
I-
sets a time limit for
Okay.
filing a lawsuit.
Right.
Lone Star Legal Aid explains that this time limit varies
Okay.
depending on the type of case.
So if you wait too long, you're out of luck.
Unfortunately, that's usually the case.
Wow.
It prevents bringing stale claims
Okay.
where evidence is lost,
Right.
memories fade,
Right.
or witnesses are unavailable.
Right.
It's about ensuring fairness and efficiency in the legal system.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
This next term has a positive ring to it.
Okay.
Pro bono.
Yes,
Does it live up to its reputation?
absolutely.
Okay.
Pro bono, from the Latin pro bono publico,
Right.
means for the public good.
Okay.
It's about lawyers offering legal services free
Okay.
to those who can't afford them.
So it's like legal Robin Hoods.
That's a great analogy.
Ensuring access to justice for everyone,
Yes.
regardless of their financial situation.
Lone Star Legal Aid emphasizes that pro bono work is all about leveling the playing field
Okay.
and ensuring that everyone has a fair shot
Right.
at legal representation.
It's heartwarming to know that even in a system often associated with money,
Yes.
there's a dedication to helping those in need.
It's a testament to the commitment of many lawyers
Okay.
to ensuring access to justice
Right.
as a fundamental right.
Okay, let's talk about the ultimate goal of a lawsuit.
Okay?
Winning.
Winning, yes.
What does winning actually get you?
Right.
We need to unpack the term legal remedy.
A legal remedy is what the court can offer
Okay.
to compensate for the wrong suffered.
Gotcha.
Lone Star Legal Aid gives examples like damages,
Okay.
which we've discussed,
Right.
injunctions,
Good.
which are court orders to stop doing something,
Right.
and even declarations of rights.
So it's about righting the wrong
Exactly.
as much as the legal system can.
The specific remedy depends on the case
Right.
and what the court deems appropriate
Okay.
to restore fairness and balance.
We're on a roll.
I know, right?
We just tackled jurisdiction,
Yes.
due process,
Pro bono.
pro bono, and even legal remedy.
And we've got even more intriguing legal terms coming up.
Awesome.
But before we continue, let's take a moment to appreciate the power of knowledge
Yes.
and the importance of seeking out diverse perspectives.
That's what the All Sorts podcast is all about.
That's what we do.
We dive deep into a wide range of fascinating topics.
Yes.
From the mundane to the extraordinary.
Absolutely.
Always with the goal of
Always.
expanding your horizons and sparking your curiosity.
That is what we're all about.
So if you're enjoying this journey into the legal world,
Uh-huh.
imagine the adventures
Yeah.
that await you on the All Sorts podcast.
So many.
Head over to YouTube and hit that subscribe button
Yes.
on the All Sorts podcast channel.
Do it.
And while you're at it,
Yes.
follow us on X, Instagram, and Threads
All the places.
for even more captivating content and
Yeah.
engaging discussions.
Absolutely.
We're excited to have you join our community of lifelong learners.
Yes, we are.
But for now,
Okay.
back to our legal lexicon.
Back to it.
We've got more terms to uncover after a short break. Ready for our final round of legal terms.
Let's bring it home. This next one seems pretty straightforward. Litigation.
Mm-hmm.
Does it just mean going to court?
Well, it often involves court, but it's broader than that.
Okay.
Litigation is the process of resolving a dispute
Okay.
through the legal system,
Okay.
as Aston Bond describes it.
Okay.
It can involve filing a lawsuit, going to trial,
Right.
and getting a court judgment. But sometimes it can be settled through negotiations before reaching the courtroom.
So it's like the whole legal battle.
Exactly.
From initial disagreement to a final resolution.
Yeah.
Whether in court or through a settlement.
It's the process of seeking a legal remedy
Okay.
for a perceived wrong,
Right.
using the courts as the playing field.
Now, this next set of terms sounds a bit like a courtroom drama.
Okay.
Claimant and defendant respondent.
Right.
Who are these key players?
Aston Bond clarifies this well.
Okay.
The claimant is the one initiating the legal action, claiming they've been wrong.
Right.
The defendant or respondent is the one being sued or accused.
So the claimant is like the offense,
Yeah.
taking the initiative,
Yeah.
and the defendant is on defense, responding to the claims.
It's a great way to visualize it.
Right.
They're the two sides of the legal battle,
Okay.
each presenting their case and arguments.
Okay. Let's talk contracts.
Okay.
We've all signed them for jobs, apartments,
Yeah.
or even gym memberships.
Uh-huh.
But what makes a contract legally binding?
Aston Bond defines a contract
Okay.
as a legally enforceable agreement between two or more parties,
Okay.
outlining terms and obligations that are enforceable by law.
Okay.
It's more than just a handshake.
Right.
It needs elements like offer, acceptance,
Okay.
consideration, which is something of value exchanged, and a clear intention to create a legal relationship.
So my casual promise to buy pizza for lawn mowing probably wouldn't hold up in court.
Unless there was a genuine intention to be legally bound.
Right.
And clear terms were established.
For important matters, a written contract is always best
Right.
to avoid ambiguity and misunderstandings down the road.
This next term sounds a bit scary.
Okay.
Tort.
All right.
What exactly is a tort?
It's not as scary as it sounds, but it is serious.
Okay.
A tort, as Aston Bond explains,
Okay.
is a wrongful act causing harm to someone else,
Okay.
infringing on their rights, and leading to civil liability.
Right.
It's a separate from criminal law, which is about offenses against the state.
So if someone slips on my icy sidewalk
Right.
because I didn't shovel,
Yeah.
that could be a tort.
It could be,
Oh,
yes.
okay. Yeah.
If your negligence directly led to the injury.
Gotcha.
Tort law aims to hold individuals accountable for their actions
Okay.
and compensate those who have been harmed.
It sounds like tort law is all about balancing individual responsibility
Exactly.
with the protection of others from harm.
It's about ensuring that people act with reasonable care
Okay.
and are held responsible for the consequences of their negligence.
All right. Here's a distinction that often trips me up.
Okay.
Criminal law versus civil law.
Right.
What's the key difference?
This is a fundamental divide in our legal system.
Okay.
Aston Bond summarizes it well.
Okay.
Criminal law deals with offenses against the state,
Oh.
like theft, assault, or murder.
Right.
Civil law is about disputes between individuals or organizations,
Okay.
like contract breaches or personal injury.
So criminal law is about punishing wrongdoing and protecting society.
Yes.
While civil law is about resolving disputes and compensating for harm between individuals.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
In criminal cases, the government brings charges seeking punishment.
Right.
In civil cases, individuals initiate lawsuits
Right.
seeking compensation or other forms of relief.
This next one sounds like something from detective shows.
Oh, okay.
Due diligence.
All right.
Are we on the right track?
It does sound detective-like,
Yeah.
but it's actually more common in business and legal contexts.
Okay.
Due diligence is basically... Okay.
Thorough research and investigation before making a decision,
Okay.
especially before a legal agreement or transaction,
Okay.
as Aston Bond explains.
So if you're buying a company, you do your due diligence
Exactly.
to avoid unpleasant surprises later on.
It's about uncovering potential risks
Okay.
and making informed decisions.
Gotcha.
It can involve reviewing financial records, inspecting property,
Right.
researching compliance, and much more.
All right, let's talk about a term that's often associated with the end of life.
Okay.
Probate.
Yes.
What does it entail?
Probate is the legal process of handling a deceased person's estate,
Okay.
as Aston Bond describes it.
Okay.
It involves proving the will's validity,
Right.
valuing assets,
Mm-hmm.
paying debts and taxes,
Right.
and finally distributing the remaining assets to beneficiaries.
So it's the legal and financial wrapping up of someone's affairs after they're gone,
Precisely.
ensuring their wishes are carried out.
It can be a complex and lengthy process.
Yeah, I'm sure. But it's crucial for a fair and orderly distribution of the deceased person's property.
Our final pair of terms
Okay.
focuses on resolving disputes,
Okay.
arbitration, and mediation.
All right.
What are these alternative approaches all about?
Both are forms of alternative dispute resolution,
Okay.
aiming to resolve disagreements outside of traditional courtrooms.
Gotcha.
Aston Bond explains that both involve a neutral third party
Mm-hmm.
guiding the process.
Right.
In arbitration, the arbitrator acts like a judge,
Oh.
making a binding decision.
Mm-hmm.
In mediation, the mediator facilitates communication,
Right.
helping parties reach their own agreement.
So arbitration is more formal and decisive,
That's a great distinction.
while mediation emphasizes collaboration and finding a mutually agreeable solution.
The choice between them depends on the dispute's nature
Right.
and the parties' preferences.
Wow, what a whirlwind tour of legal terminology.
Ah,
We've decoded everything from accomplice to warrant,
I know.
from tort to probate. I feel like I've leveled up my legal literacy.
We've definitely covered a lot of ground.
Yeah.
Hopefully you feel more equipped to navigate legal jargon
Yeah.
and engage with these concepts in a meaningful way.
And remember, if you ever need specific legal advice,
Yes,
consulting a qualified attorney is always the best course of action.
please do.
They can provide tailored guidance and help you understand your rights and options
Absolutely.
for any legal situation.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that wraps up our deep dive into common legal terms. We hope you've enjoyed this journey and found it both informative and empowering.
Yes, thank you for joining us.
Remember, knowledge is power, and understanding the law can empower you to make informed decisions and navigate the complexities of the legal world with confidence.
It really can.
And speaking of empowering journeys, we invite you to join us on the All Sorts podcast for even more fascinating explorations.
Yes, please do.
We delve into diverse topics, from the mysteries of science to the intricacies of history, always with the aim of sparking your curiosity and expanding your knowledge.
Come join us.
So if you're eager to learn and discover, head over to YouTube and hit that subscribe button on the All Sorts podcast channel. And while you're at it, follow us on X, Instagram, and Threads for more captivating content and engaging discussions. We're excited to have you join our community of lifelong learners.
We're happy to have you.
Until next time, keep those minds curious, keep those questions coming, and keep exploring the boundless world of knowledge.
See you next time.